everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Dietary and sorry if it's been a while. I've been dealing with this solid, massive, absolutely all-consuming social media burnout. But I'm definitely counting on being back in shape in 2016. That's not what it's called. Oh, you wish, girl! I'm taking care of myself, embracing the slow pace. But I also really want to get back into a good schedule of uploading, and that seems to be really difficult right now. But we will. I feel like a 90s computer and everyone else is an iPad. I don't know. However, I don't need to use a lot of computing skills for today's video, because what I want to do is that I want to talk about the in and outs of 2016. No! Why? 2026. I don't know why that's so difficult for me to say. 2026. Okay. 2026. I want to talk about my in and outs of 2026. Sort of what we saw a lot of this year that we will either bring into the new year or leave behind. So let's start with an in of 2016. No! I've seen so many content creators in 2025 talking about the fact that veganism is not trending anymore, or that veganism or plant-based foods aren't necessarily attractive or interesting to the mainstream public, that the vegan niche is zooming in, like we're seeing products being taken off shelves again, we're seeing menus discontinued from restaurants, which is really frustrating. We're seeing a little bit of it in Denmark as well, but I don't think to the same extent as other people are experiencing. Feels like UK and US. This year they did discontinue my favorite dressing, and I don't think I'll get over that anytime soon. But what is in 2026 are plant-based protein sources. I am so thoroughly done with the conservative, alt-right pipeline, carnivorism, only eating meat, or just generally over-consuming meat. Has that something to do with conservatism and the alt-right pipeline? Absolutely it does. We're seeing a lot of the, I guess, more so health-related interests in veganism being channeled into carnivorism instead of being channeled into diets that favor lots of animal products and high meat consumption, which is unfortunate, which is low-key really frustrating actually. In 2026, can we please keep pushing for plant-based protein sources? Because as a global society, we need to have them implemented more thoroughly into our diets, especially so in the West, in order to meet our climate goals, in order to slow down climate change. Like that is, it is important. Out in 2026. Fascism. I mean, it probably won't be, but at least a girl can dream. Is this slightly related to the rise also in conservatism and the alt-right pipeline? Absolutely. Well, not all conservatives are fascists, obviously, but it seems to be so that there is a large demographic where those two kind of overlap, or at least where accepting fascists' talking point and ideas is not a deal breaker. So it feels like when it comes to the political spectrum, any kind of conversation that involves nuance and empathy is less favored. What is in 2026 is practicing a craft. If it's unproductive, that's even better. Valuing and prioritizing craft, learning something, practicing it, and creating something yourself is so incredibly valuable. And I also think with the rise of AI and how many things we're using AI to do, which we will get back to, it's going to mean that human labor, human creativity, and things made completely without those tools is going to be seen as more valuable in the future. I think nurturing and taking care of those crafts and ideas and that knowledge is so incredibly important. What is out in 2026 is vegan policing. I'm done. I recently did a post where I talked about some of the more imperfect things I do as a vegan. Now, I've been on and off with if I wanted to call myself vegan or not, but that's not because of how I feel. It's because of how other people react or communicate with me. And sometimes you just really want to throw the towel in and just go, okay, then I'm plant-based. But that's also not really true, because veganism is about more than diet. The way that I practice veganism is also about more than diet. But I just tend to talk about food a lot because I love food. So I recently did this post where I talked about some other things that I end up doing kind of imperfectly, which I think is a really healthy conversation to have, especially at a time where we're seeing people step away from veganism or simply just any plant-based or plant-favoring lifestyle, because the pressure is really high. You have to perform at a certain level, and at a certain point you can burn out, or you can become tired and you slip up, and when you slip up and you're in this discourse of you can't slip up, you just withdraw altogether, which is not what we want. So I wanted to do this to sort of have those conversations that keep people within the lifestyle because that they now know that they can be accepted even if they slip up, make mistakes. No one is 100% perfect or morally consistent, or at least where their morals and their actions are always in alignment. That is simply not possible. I'm so thoroughly against slave labor and fast fashion, and the slave labor that we see in the tech industry as well. Yet here I am with my phone and my camera, trying to get them secondhand. But do you see what I mean? So one of the things that I said in that post was that if I order a meal and that meal has the wrong dressing or the wrong bun, if I cannot give it to someone else, if I can see that it's just gonna be thrown away, if I ask for a new one, I'm just gonna eat it. And that's a hot take. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's completely okay too. That's completely okay. It's just, I have this knowledge in my brain about food waste, and that is conflicting with those kinds of situations. If I had to do the correct vegan thing, the correct vegan thing would be to throw food away, and I'm just simply not down with that. Like, I don't do that. If it has actual meat, the situation is different. But if it's something like the dressing, I don't know, man. It has happened in my almost 10 years of veganism. That has happened maybe a handful of times. But the amount of feedback, the amount of energy that was used here, telling me that then I'm not vegan, I'm not welcome in the movement and whatnot, that energy could be used so much more productively, so much more effectively, if we put that into creating a place where people want to come, where people want to stay. Spending the time like practicing this purity test on every single person in this movement seems so counterproductive. I don't know. I was about to say I'm not going to engage with that in 2026. I absolutely 100% am. Because whenever I have this sort of feeling that, oh, then I don't belong in this movement, I have another feeling right next to it that goes, oh, but you definitely do. Because so many people, if no one brought nuance, if no one said, I fucked up, hello, my name is Gita Marie, maybe they would leave too. And then the movement would be even smaller. And my prime goal is to make sure that as many people are interested in veganism and in plant-based food as possible. Those two are different, I'm very much aware, but when it comes to our daily actions, they overlap quite a lot. More people understand what vegan means rather than plant-based. I've said plant-based, or I've seen that something is plant-based so many times where it turns out it has a little bit of animal product in it, or they assume it's vegetarian or whatnot. Saying vegan is a much more effective communicative tool if you want to convey exactly what it is that you do. Can we chill? Thing is, I recognize those feelings and those responses so well because I have been there myself 100%. At a certain point, I just shifted the way that I think about myself in this movement. I guess it started being more so about doing something for the rest of your life rather than doing something perfectly. What is in 2026? Homegrown herbs. I've always had herbs in my kitchen window, but now I'm looking into my garden and I have a plan for a little area. And it's gonna be so stinking cute. And I just wanna grow things. That's why it's in. What is out in 2026, according to me, unfortunately not according to the world, is using AI instead of thinking. It's using ChatGPT instead of having a think. Placing creative work with AI tools, both in workplaces where AI has now taken over creative jobs, as well as in your home. Want a cute little jingle? Find a musician that can help you, or learn something yourself. Want to learn how to draw? Sit down with a pencil and practice. Oh my goodness. I'm not saying that there aren't great uses for AI. It's a tool that we need to acknowledge is here, and there are many really amazing ways we can use this tool. But there are also a plethora of fucking brain-rotting, stupid ways that we're using this tool instead of thinking. And if you're using it as a search machine, you're stupid. I'm sorry, that is very unnuanced, but I am judging. I'm judging a little bit, honestly. For the life of me, I cannot hear another person compare AI and ChatGPT to the calculator. Well, when the calculator came out, people also, yeah, but the calculator didn't have a bias. So AI and a calculator are as easy to compare as I am to my fridge. Okay, let's do a rapid fire round. What is in 2026? Making things from scratch. Big pet peeve from this year that I just don't want to see any more of. It's streak features on different apps. Like I have Duolingo where the streak sort of is in my favor. I like that streak. It's stressful as fuck, but it's kept me on almost 700 days of practicing French. It's giving me something. It's giving me a skill, so I feel like it's okay. But the streak feature on Strava has stressed me to my inner core. To hell with that. And also the streak feature on TikTok. What the streak feature is meant to keep us on social media apps instead of going out and experiencing the real world. And as someone who really drastically needs to bring down his screen time, that's just simply not it. Today, social media apps of any kind are designed to be addictive, and we need, as consumers and as legislators, to be much more vigilant when it comes to controlling how these apps operate. What is in 2026? Showing up for climate work, either that being petitions, protesting, showing up to vote, showing up to local meetings, but engaging yourself in your local or even national community, but showing up, showing your support, and actively participating. It is so important, and when we do that, we have so much more power than we can even imagine. What is out in 2026? Doom scrolling. It's not about being productive all the time. Sometimes it's nice to just sit and do nothing, but doom scrolling doesn't relax your brain. I've said, and I've said this for years, like sometimes I just crave some time where I can just lie on my phone and relax and scroll. And you might think you're relaxing, but your brain is actually working overload. What is in 2026 is debating to learn, not to win. This, I think, was also on my list for last year, and I think this is just a really important mantra to go into any new year with. When we engage in debates and conversations, any kind of discussions, we have to ask ourselves, why are we doing it? And we need to understand or try to uncover, why are the other people doing it? Are you debating with someone or discussing something with someone in bad faith, or someone just being the devil's advocate? Are someone just trying to get a stir out of you? Then they're wasting your time and your energy. You might be debating someone with the intention of making them understand that you are in the right and they are in the wrong. If you're doing that, you're very likely not getting anywhere. And yes, I absolutely have deal breakers where I'm just not going to discuss these things with people, because I am in no business of trying to make them change their minds, because I can't, and it's not up to me then. Then I would much rather debate with people where there's actually a chance that they understand what I'm saying, or that I can understand what they're saying. If we're debating to understand more about the world and other people and their perspectives and learn from that, that's fantastic. But if someone is not, they're really not worth your time. But that doesn't mean only seeking out conversations with people you agree with. Quite literally the opposite, but it's why we're discussing something. The times where I've learned the most about myself has been when I've talked to people that I have opposing views with. Don't get me wrong, being in an echo chamber where everyone agrees with you is fucking phenomenal. It is so fantastic. It is so lovely. It's so, it's so validating. It's just not where we learn anything. But when we're discussing, we have to find out if we are, or if they are, discussing in good faith. Like, are we learning, or are we just fighting? You know what's out in 2026? Vague climate goals. Climate goals from massive corporations and companies going, we want change. We want to be CO2 neutral. How do we get there? What are we doing? Do we have a game plan? What are some of the milestones we've reached? Nothing. Just green. On the other hand, what is in 2026 is imperfect environmentalism. Everyone is an imperfect environmentalist. There's no such thing as someone doing this perfectly, but having the open, nuanced conversation about being imperfect is where we need to get at. And what is so thoroughly out in 2026 is politely laughing at jokes that aren't funny. Specifically politely laughing at jokes that have sexist, racist, homophobic over or undertones. Laughing because you don't know what else to do. Laughing and being awkward and just, I can't believe you just said that. But if you don't want to have the whole conversation, if you don't want to become like a very, you can't never say that. If you don't want to aggressively yell at these people that this is actually not an okay thing to say, if you don't want to ruin that vibe, okay, 1 second, there's a deer in my yard. Look at that, that's a deer in my yard. What I tend to do is ask, what do you mean by that? Said in a curious tone, where they then have to explain to you why they said what they said. Humor that has these sexist, racist, homophobic undertones only remain funny because we don't say the thing, because we then speak this language of we both understand that these people are beneath us, or we both do not understand these people and therefore they are funny, or we don't understand gay people because they aren't real, all this kind of stuff. So I just prefer to ask people, why, what do you mean? that is the best way to make sure that they never make those jokes when you're around. What is in 2026 is using the things we already have. It is interpreting trends and styles and movements, but through things that we already have, things that already exist. I think it is such a misunderstood concept that in order to engage with the trends, you have to buy new things. Participating in trends and experimenting with fashion and style is completely fine, but we can do that through other tools other than consumption. What is out in 2026? Mystery boxes of any kind. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. It's so... Ooh, Labubus were everywhere. I also did a video on them because it became this big global phenomenon so quickly, and they're already kind of out. If the trend has died down, but you will see that mystery box being replaced with another, because this addictive marketing is really effective and it's not going to stop unless we say we don't want to buy this crap. Mystery boxes of any kind, can really not think of one type of mystery box that I would be okay with purchasing. Maybe a mystery bag from a thrift store with jewelry, but I'm very specific with my jewelry as well, so I probably just wouldn't end up using any of it. But I understand the appeal, see, like going through everything is fun. However, still a waste, still a waste. Okay, mystery boxes of any kind, actually. And lastly, what is in for 2026? Let's end this on a positive note. Is citing your sources. Please. Not only are we gonna cite our sources and tell people where we got the information that we are distributing, and use Google, or you can find it's not, where did you find it? But not only citing our sources, but also reading our own sources would be so phenomenal. And let me know down below what you think are in and out of 2026. Let me know your thoughts on everything that I've said today. I'm looking forward to making some more specific videos in 2026. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time. Take really good care of yourselves. Until then, bye.